Mother, tell your children not to walk my way. Tell your children not to hear my words, what they mean, what they say. Mother.
Hello all, and we are back. It's weird. It's the four of us and Jake of all people joining us, which is very odd. No, but I mean, he's never with us, so it's like weird that we're gonna talk about like Hulk Hogan and stuff, and like nobody's here. That's what I meant by that. But anyways, we're gonna talk Hulk Hogan. We're gonna talk the SummerSlam. I just looked at that card. That's 2 nights of a card right there. What is that? What do you keep?
It's the card.
Dave Meltz over here with still paper.
Yeah,
listen. It's either print out a Wikipedia page or watch Monday Night Raw like a idiot.
No. It's bring up the card on Cage Match. That's
okay.
That's what you do. And we'll talk some Big Japan. No, has anyone watched any? Either of you watched any Big Japan down there? Like, when's the last time you watched? Did you remember?
Not since the New Year's show.
Yeah, we'll talk G1 though, because they've watched G1. I've watched like this much of it. So, here we go. Shall we start? Shall we start with Hulk Hogan?
Yeah. I don't know what topic to kind of approach this. I guess it's just how you feel, what you think.
I mean, it's Hulk Hogan. I don't know what to like. If everybody's kind of talked about a lot about it already. My one thing is just like the discourse around it. I think is kind of crazy. The fact that people are. It's very evident that you have a lot of wrestling fans that don't want to talk wrestling history, like real wrestling history, not just like just because you start talking about like early Hulk Hogan stuff and they go crazy, and then you have people that are just want to like ignore what he said and what he did, and he did it more than once. That's the thing. It wasn't like a one and done thing. And I've seen people say, "Oh, well, what's the difference between what he did and what Jay Briscoe did?" And I'm like, because Jay Briscoe apologized to a point that other gay wrestlers were like, no, he apologized. Get him on TV, please. That's the difference. When this guy had a chance to apologize, he didn't do it. And then he turned around and he said more stupid shit. So what?
The real difference is that Jay Briscoe, he took accountability in a way that many people don't. Like, he apologized. He did the work. He did the work to try and show people that he was different, and he never complained about not being on TV. He never complained. He just whatever decision was the decision. I remember he was asked about it, and he flat out said, he was like, if they want to put me on TV, it'd be awesome, but it is what it is. Like, I did what I did, and I gotta lay in it. That's a man. That's a man. That's what that is. It's a man.
That's better than probably 90% of people, because 90% of people would not have, at least a little bit. But yeah. So there's that, and then you have like the history aspect, like people trying to point out that Hulk Hogan was kind of Hulk Hogan before he came back to WWE for the run that we all know, because of course he was there before. The fact that people go, oh, then it turns into just how big was pro wrestling before Vince McMahon went crazy. And the fact of the matter is, it was probably more popular, because the places that pro wrestling was popular, it was probably more popular. You could, if you're going to argue about like how much more popular they made it, they just made it more mainstream is what they did. It was a very niche, like regional, in some ways, even though it really wasn't, it was seen that way, product. It was very like how you would view NASCAR at that time. I know Sean's in the chat. He can probably talk about this a lot better than I can. But it's that type of thing. It was looked at like that, even though it was super popular. Lots of people watched it. You had, I always bring up Memphis because I think Memphis is the best example. The fact that they were putting at minimum 12,000 people in the same arena once a week is insane when you think about it. When you think about it, that is insanity. It's not like they were going around. It was the same arena every single week, and they were doing that. You know, and they weren't the only one. Now you had little like the promotions that would be considered the small promotions, like I live in Kansas City, and Central States often gets brought up, and it was a crap promotion when you go back, but it would draw more people than what like GCW would draw now, and that should tell you something. That wait a minute, that one of the smallest promotions in the country was drawing better than what GCW on a weekly basis they were doing this. So that should tell a lot of people
in like 4 different arenas,
right?
Like
right,
it's the same 4 places. You know what I mean?
Right. It's not. It's this weird. It's this weird thing that people like don't know the right words to use, I think, is the thing. But you know, without a doubt, and this is the other part of it, is that most people today, I would say, would not be pro wrestling fans if it was not for Hulk Hogan and if it was not for Vince McMahon and Hulk Hogan. And we'll have the same stupid discussion when Vince McMahon dies, without question, probably even more so. But I don't have a lot more to add. I would say if you've never seen like the really good angles, because the matches, Hulk Hogan matches you're going to go try to find Hulk Hogan matches. You need to go to Japan. You need to go probably his first WWE run, and you need to find his AWA stuff. That's probably really the stuff that would be worth watching. I don't know
about you, Josh. I have like 25, probably more 5-star matches with Hogan in it, minimum, for sure.
Really, I'm shocked.
No, he's gotta be joking.
He's being whatever. But you know, Hulk Hogan was Hulk Hogan before he was, you know, in WWE in that final run. He was Hulk Hogan after, which, I mean, I'm sure that's when most of you probably really noticed him, would have been, you know, that WCW run, which a lot of people forget that first part of that WCW run, which was trash beyond trash, where all they were doing was they were recycling the old WWE angles, which were already outdated a lot, and then trying to add, like, not even modernize it. They made them like even more comic booky, if that's possible. Go back and watch some of the stuff, like the stuff with the Dungeon of Doom, and they bring in Giant. They bring in Paul Wright, and they call him the Giant, and they're like, "Oh, he's Andre's son," and then basically just do the Andre, you know, thing. It's crazy. Yeah,
and not to mention WCW was finally getting its footing back the first half of '94. Yeah. So, like, you know, 92 is a great work rate year. 93, first half of 94 is great because they get Steamboat back in the main events and Flair's on fire, right, and, you know, Rick Rude's still active. And then that hard pivot between back.
But I mean, it made. I mean, the pay-per-view business did much better. Live attendance, maybe not so much, but you know, but people forget about like all of that, and I think that's to really talk about Hulk Hogan would take hours, because he's probably he's that important to the business of pro wrestling, but also just to see like the ebbs and flows, the fact that the same mistakes were made over and over again as far as in the business, and then, you know, you could spend another hour just talking about his personal life and how just absolutely insane all of that is. And really, you know, I mean, his legacy wasn't great after WCW. But then to have everything else happen after it kind of just makes it even that much more, oh, this is the guy this is. And it all kind of makes sense. And it's what it is. I would say if you really want to see something really good with Hulk Hogan as far as wrestling, go back and watch. Of course, you know, everyone points to Steamboat or not Steamboat, to Randy Savage, and the Mega Powers angle and that whole thing. But I would go back and watch especially the Andre turn. If you can, I'm sure it's on YouTube somewhere. That is some great stuff, because this is the thing that people don't understand about that whole thing that was put in like a 5-minute segment. You had Andre turn. He didn't just turn, he joined Bobby Heenan, who was like the arch villain for Hulk Hogan, right? So he joined. It's not just that he turned, it's that he then joined Bobby Heenan. The fact that it was done on Piper's Pit, the fact that Piper, who was a heel, right, during that whole time, his express is like, what did I just see? What's going on? Like, you can tell he kind of feels sorry for Hulk Hogan because of what just happened. All of those things. It's a really like, and it started that off, and it was a really good. That's the one that I would like point to. I was never the biggest person on the NWO, so that it's hard for me. You guys might be able to talk better, like something to point out with that than I would. I guess just the initial turn with the NWO, maybe, but I can't think of anything. And the Sting match, just because of the atmosphere. You guys got anything?
I'm trying to be politically correct, so
you don't have to be politically.
You don't have to be. Here, I'll start. You can think about what you want to say. So I didn't grow up a Hulkamaniac at all. When the news hit, like, I didn't feel anything, which was weird. Like, I had nothing. Like, I heard people say, "Oh, my heart sank" and everything. I get it, but like, I felt nothing. It was just like, damn, like one of those people, like, you're very surprised, like those figures that, man, like, you would think they would be like immortal, like live forever, but when it hit, it's like, it's kind of strange. But again, I didn't really have much feeling for a lot of people who were Hulkamaniacs, and he was like the intro to wrestling for, you know, this group of people. For me, like, I knew of Hulk Hogan before I knew about wrestling. Like, for me, it was him being in Rocky 3. If you are like me and watch the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 VHS over and over, the trailer for Suburban Commando was at the beginning. That's what I knew him for. This actor or whatever. But then I was very aware that he was a wrestler. I didn't really watch it, but I had an action figure. I was given a wrestling buddy as a child. And then also I used to play Super WrestleMania on the Super Nintendo a lot. And that was my exposure to Hulk Hogan before I started watching wrestling, which was in '96. And at that point, he had just joined to the NWO. So again, I don't really have those memories of Hogan in his, you know, the peak WWF days. I enjoyed the NWO, I can say more, just because I thought that was really neat to see, as far as this villainous group being really cool and having all these cool people around them and whatnot. But again, I don't have that. I don't know. I don't have that. Let me ask you for Hulkamania like a lot of people do.
Which one would you say, if either, affected you more? Because I would think that this would be Hulk Hogan or Ozzy. Did either
for me?
Yeah.
I mean, you're not. I didn't really listen to a ton of Ozzy outside like the you know, the Black Sabbath, like the really popular stuff. I mean, I would say Hogan just because I have that affection more towards wrestling for sure. But even then, it's just feeling like, I mean, it's so far like we just went through like a bunch of crazy deaths with guys from the 80s, whether it be Ozzy, whether it be Hulk Hogan. For me, Malcolm Jamal Warner, when he passed, like that was like, I audibly said, like, what the hell is going on? So I was a little bit more affected by that. But again, I would probably lean more towards Hogan personally.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. For me, I mean, do I choose between a guy who was actually racist or a guy who justified racism?
Right.
Like who do I feel? Who do I feel worse about?
And that's a big reason why I have no emotion when I heard this. I'm not actively rooting for him to pass away or whatever. But I do understand what we heard from him and what he didn't do as far as apologizing.
Yeah. Like, I don't have that in me, right? To where I'm like actively like happy that he's like not here anymore. But I don't know. Like, let me go through my timeline with Hulk Hogan. Okay, so growing up, I just don't remember when I started watching wrestling. It's just since I was born or whatever. I guess I watched wrestling. I don't even really remember when it happened. But for me, Hulk Hogan was always a dude that was kind of corny, that everybody booed, and was just in the way of the guys that I liked. So as time went by, I was like, I'm just tired of this guy because first off, I find him boring. I find his promos boring.
So,
even the
NWO would that be like 92, 94, or would that be?
I tell you what, I remember the tail end of his WWF run before he went to WCW. Like I vividly remember the tail end of that, right? And obviously,
because what people don't realize is that at the 92 Rumble, he was booed, and it was cheered when he got dumped, and then WWE went in and
they edited
changed
the
footage. Then they edited it back, and then they had So
this guy was always just lame to me. And then the NWO stuff, like it was cool at first. One vivid memory I have is the night it happened. My mom was shook because she's a pro wrestling fan, 70s, 80s, you know what I mean? So that was a huge deal for her. And then I just remember at a certain point, us just getting tired of them. And then like not watching WCW anymore. And then you fast forward past WCW and he had a hand in cratering TNA. and then you fast forward a little bit more and then he says jokingly like, hey, when I die, I don't want us to be reincarnated as black people because of karma. Stuff like that. You know what I mean? You're caught on tape saying nigga, you know what I mean? Like that, all of this stuff. I have no positive memory of Hulk Hogan. So I know his influence. I know his impact. I know of the history. But for me personally, I have no positive memories of this dude. So I felt nothing. Like to me, to be quite honest with you, he did more harm than good to the discourse around pro wrestling. That's just me. That's who he's always been.
In what way? You mean?
Because Hulkamania, that era, as big as it was, right? Everything is put on. That's one of the eras that's the pedestal that like that stuff is put on, and nothing like since can match the Hulkamania or the Attitude Era, things like that. It's just, to me, it's just a tired narrative that people bring up to say wrestling isn't as good anymore. When a lot of that stuff was repetitive as fuck. He just was a huge star. Like, you know what I mean? It's none of it, to me, nothing about him is like I think back on positively. So it's really hard for me to talk.
See, and I was never a huge Hogan fan, so it's not like I was like not. I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh, I never cheered for Hulk Hogan, because that would be silly. When I was like a kid, when it during that main run, but he was never like my favorite, I would say.
Yeah, you were a kid during Hulkamania, so it makes sense.
Yeah, and so, but like I would say by like 80. I would say by 89, I was like,
damn,
kind of done. Because
he's not alone though. A lot of people were.
Yeah,
a lot of people were done.
But I was like done. So then when you have Flair show up, a couple years after that, that's like a big deal, because it's like, oh, we got the and then everything that happened with that. But it's just, and I think part of it is that if you really watched pro wrestling, his matches were so formulaic. Now they worked because they were formulaic. That's the other part of that. But for me personally, you get bored of seeing it. And one of the things that I will always say is like, I think that works, but I think that it's one of the reasons why I think I always say that, you can do a main event and you can do a story main event. It doesn't need to be super long. Like Hogan main events weren't long. Hogan even, they weren't long at all. They would be maybe 10, 15 minutes.
I give him that.
Right. And so they didn't overstay their welcome. They did their thing. I think that is something that really like worked. But I will say this, and Joe Lanza brought this up, and I absolutely agree. There's a difference between prime Hogan pops and just about anybody else ever that I've ever seen. There's a even Austin, there's a difference between that and that. But you're talking like maybe 2 years, right? You're talking maybe like 87, 88. You're not talking probably beyond that. because
but
Hogan
even in those
started
2 years, it's a very short list of people who were as or more charismatic. It's like
right,
Tony Inoki, Atsushi Onita,
right,
Hogan, and like
I
mean,
maybe
the Rock. You want to throw the Rock in
maybe,
there?
maybe,
maybe,
and we're saying maybe. That's like how this guy was, and like I said, I think my biggest take of the whole thing really has been the discourse around it, and just how crazy it is, and just the fact that people are just not willing to listen to like maybe what the truth. Because my other thing is the WWE history, I think, is better and is better served to them when it's the actual real history than their made up like fantasy.
If you think about it, you just tell the real story about Hulk Hogan, right? He looks like a good guy when he needs to look like a good guy, and he looks like an absolute asshole if you just tell the true story.
Right.
But they don't always tell the true story. Like, truth be told, if you really just tell the WWE side of the Hogan story, they did everything positive for him, and he fucked him over. That's what it looks like. You know what I mean? But they make it all weird, man.
Especially if you add in the fact that, hey, he was a big deal before he came to WWE, and Vince just offered him a better deal than Vern. And you can say one of the reasons he left was because Vern was a shitty booker and he could see the writing on the wall. I mean, you could say that, and it's fine. But then you have to, it hurts this narrative. Oh, Vince McMahon created Hulk Hogan, not that they really were like a perfect pairing at the perfect time to kind of just make the WWE what it is. And part of the problem is that people, see WWE as pro wrestling, and then it's easier for them to believe this narrative of, oh, it wasn't as big before Hogan and Vince. And it's like maybe no promotion was going around the country and selling out arenas. Yes, you're absolutely, that's true. But it was just as popular probably in certain parts. And if you add all of that stuff up, it's maybe even worse. So it's what is that? But my thing has really been the discourse around it, just the people refusing.
Yeah, we got to tell the truth, good or bad. We got to tell the truth.
I mean, that's what and it's never going to be maybe the truth, but we have to be more willing to go, oh, maybe what WWE has told us for the last 30 years isn't the truth, and maybe we need to listen to the people who have looked into it, know what they're talking about.
Most people don't care about the history, though. That's the
sad
thing, is that they don't care about history.
I know.
And I will say this, and this might get me in trouble. I don't care. I've been really reserved about this Hulk Hogan thing because he is a legend. He is most of the things that people have been saying. I have no positive affinity for him. But there are certain people in this industry that I know when it's their time to pass on, people are gonna lie, and I'm not gonna let that shit happen. I'm just being. I am not gonna let that shit happen. Listen here, it's a lot of people that were very close to Hogan. If y'all know what I'm talking about, y'all know what I'm talking about. When their time comes, people are going to lie, and I'm not gonna let it happen. Y'all might want to cancel me now before this shit happens. I'll just say that. I'll just say, and if you know me, you all know who I'm talking about. That's all I'll say.
Poor Ed Leslie. That's what you're talking about, right?
I'm serious, but I'm not gonna let people get that shit off. Man, you know it. You know it's gonna happen. You know it.
We'll have to have you and LV on when that happens at the same time.
Oh yes.
I just let you guys go. Just let you. But no, I mean, that's the other, and then. But even within his legacy of pro wrestling, it's all like, he's the one that stopped the union in WWE. He's the one that, he
which is gross. That is gross.
I mean,
no defending that. I don't know who could possibly defend that.
And I still don't know how it worked, but that was crazy. And then everything else, the WCW run, the the TNA run, if he had come back and done that final WWE nostalgia run that he did and gone away and not, had any type of said anything stupid or racist. And let me tell you something. There's a difference between saying dumb things that can be perceived as racist and saying the shit that he did. There's a difference. And some people are like,
and then
when you say I'm a racist to an extent,
yeah,
to an extent, it's crazy. That is crazy, bro.
You know, like I can't fathom some, like, even at his age, he's 70. He's roughly my parents' age. I cannot imagine my parents, who were very conservative, saying what he did about his daughter dating a black man. That's insane.
Crazy.
It's insane. That's just like it's not even a like, I could see him saying, you know what, I'm not comfortable with it, and you go, maybe it's an age thing. If he said, but that's not what he said. That's not what he said. So,
what he said, man.
Right.
Not what he said.
Right. That I think people go off, oh, well, he said the N-word. It's not that he said, it's the context of what he was saying when he said it is the thing. And then the thing he said, when he was talking to his son in prison, that to me is almost even worse, because you're like, I can't, if
I didn't even know about that until he passed. I had no clue that happened.
To me, that's worse to say. I don't want to. That's like, what the? That is some KKK, like, white supremacy shit.
Crazy,
is what
bro.
That is.
It's crazy.
It's what that is.
Josh, how could you tell what he said? He said "gazai." How can you undo? How can
the
you
fuck up, James?
puzzle? How did you solve their mystery?
Jake, you've been quiet though. You've been quiet. You hadn't said much about Hogan.
I don't know. I mean, my viewing didn't start until 2003. As like a older kid, preteen, and so I got Mr. America, which was just a little joke bit. And then I got like the 05 and very short 06 nostalgia runs with Michaels, and then the little mini Orton feud. And then from there, it was pretty much, I wasn't deep enough online to follow, him and Paul White doing a charity show in Memphis or whatever the hell that was. I never saw, I'm not like Matthew in the chat who would have seen the Australia tour and him. And Flair bleeding buckets at 53 and 60 respectively, or whatever ages they were. And then so most of my exposure to him as a TV character period was the TNA stuff, and I knew I missed most of it. And sadly, I did miss him being so over that he just went ahead and took the belt off of Triple H a month after Mania 18, which is just very funny. It was an all-time great Hogan moment. Real, like, maybe actually he was good, because that's a very funny thing to do, as well as job out Shawn Michaels and not have to have any repercussions or take the fall in a rematch. So if you're really brainwormed, Hogan is very funny and thus very good. But he also did for the business. If you have a real brain, and sadly I still have mine. I wish I was full brainworms at this point. But he did a lot of crap, and to put it in like TTRPG terms, the Hulkamania era was railroading pro wrestling instead of sandboxing it.
Right.
And now all of a sudden it's just like, this is the path. This is how pro wrestling goes. And it's just like, please options, please. But
that is a good. I like that.
What?
It was railroading pro wrestling instead of standby.
That's a good. I like that too. Anyways,
oh my god,
I think that's enough on.
Yeah, that's it. I ain't got no more to say about Hogan.
I got nothing. Like I said, I was like everyone at work that was like, oh, and I was like, I was never a big, and they're like, what? And I was like, I was never, like, the only time that like something had, like the Andre turn was like, because that was like, oh my god, because of everything I said. But then I think it's the first Saturday Night's main event where he gets attacked by Bundy. I think that because I'd have been maybe 10 or 11, I think. And I think that, or maybe 12. Yeah, probably 11. That, like, I remember getting upset about that, but it wasn't that it was Hogan getting attacked. It was that no one was helping Hogan. That's what was upsetting me. It was that he was getting attacked and they were kind of letting it happen, and that upset me. But that's really the only things that I can remember even as a kid. So
could we do real quick?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Bring that out. Can we just go around the table and do everyone's favorite Hogan lie?
My favorite Hulk Hogan lie is him saying that he helped start Pride Fighting Championships.
Yeah, that's mine too. That's mine too. That's
what?
Just because I have such a love for Pride, and then for him to say that is like, what are you talking about?
Can I go deep cut? And can I
go ahead.
Can I steal the story from? It would have been early 2003 when the first version of Wrestle One in Japan was trying to bring him in, and allegedly Hogan was offering to do a job in a tag for Yoshihiro Takayama. Which is an incredibly funny concept in 2003, because this is, or late 2002, early 2003, because this is like peak killer Takayama, fresh out of Don Fry and the John Fry fight and everything, and Hogan being willing to, like, just the idea of 50-year-old Hogan eating an Everest German is just incredibly funny to me.
Hilarious.
Is so good. Rest in piss, Hulk Hogan.
What about you, Brandon?
I love the bit when he goes on Arsenio show and is trying to cover up him not taking steroids, and he uses the word basically about 80 times. Yeah, I keep that one of my YouTube favorites to watch every now and then. And the one that is a lie, but it feels like probably the most plausible one actually happened, is where he was supposed to get the Foreman grill before George Foreman. Because if you look at like their notorieties, that grill came out in 97 or something like that, whatever. Yeah. But you look at their notoriety, they're probably still on the same level, Hulk Hogan and George Foreman.
That's more of the type of lies he should have been telling than some of the other stuff.
That is plausible. That's true. But
the ones where you
sleep and missed the phone call.
He missed a phone call, and I guess they're just like, guess we can't call him again.
We can't call him again.
Call George. Call our number 2.
The next person.
Don't phrase it like that if you want us to believe it. At least say you turned it down.
Right.
They asked me first, and I said no or something.
That's all right. I don't want to. I don't think that's for me. Which, to be fair, nobody would have thought that. Nobody. I don't think anyone expected George Foreman of all people to be an amazing sports spokesperson for a grill. So an electric grill.
What about Benjamin Shelton? That was a good one too. What about Benjamin?
The
Metallica.
That was a recent one, right?
The Metallica one's good too. The Metallica, I tried out to be. I guess that'd have been when after the first bassist died and they were doing the tryouts.
They wanted to replace him with Hulk Hogan. The greatest metal band of all time.
Well, what's his name from I can't think of the bassist. The bassist that they turned down because he was too good. But anyways.
Oh man. All right, is that enough about Hulk?
That's enough about Hulk Hogan. I like when I knew we had a tie, and I was just like,
Speaking of lies, has anyone checked out any of the WWE? What's it called? What's this new show they got?
Unreal
on Netflix.
Unreal.
Has anyone checked it out?
Haven't people already diced it because they completely
it's clips all over Twitter and everything. So for homework for this show, I actually watched episode 1. I have no interest in watching the rest of it for sure. Who was this for? who, just like the McMahon documentary, just like all this stuff, like who are they making this for? I'm guessing the non-wrestling fan to have them,
the Gooners, the
behind the
Baiters, the Mouse Breathers, the No Standard
But,
Havers.
but they're not going to watch this, Jake. Like, they're not going to watch this.
So what was your takeaway from it?
A vehicle to put Paul Levesque over.
Was that what it was?
Because that's what it felt like.
Because what I heard was they took the Cena turn and they completely like.
So I haven't gotten that far. So yeah, it's just the Netflix debut was the first episode, and again, it was really just kind of putting over Paul. But I've seen a lot of clips out there of different quotes and things that are happening. Again, this does not seem like a show that I will have any interest in finishing.
I mean, I feel sorry for like wrestling people that will have to watch this because what it is and have to dissect it and have to be like, okay, this isn't true. This isn't true. This isn't true. This isn't true.
What's it for, man? The people,
but that's what I mean.
The people who watch the show are not going to want to hear that, you know?
I mean, who's watching the show on Netflix anyways?
I think the only good vehicle.
I mean,
you're right.
The only good vehicle for Paul is a police car. That's what I said.
Wow. I don't even dislike him that much.
I don't care for WWE, if you couldn't tell.
Wow. I don't even dislike him that much.
Oh, my side hurt.
Yeah, there's nothing interesting. I mean, there's nothing that we don't know. I don't think that is coming out of the show that people are aware of what happened.
And it's not even, and it's all, you know, the cameras are there. So, and I'm sure WWE has final say about what actually goes on the air. So if something that is said that's not supposed to be said, they can be like, no, that can't be on the show. But you know.
Also, I did see the clip of Cody talking about how authentic he was. If you're someone who has to tell someone that you're authentic, you're probably fake as fuck, guy. Like nobody who's real has to say they're real. It's so weird, bro. Like it's almost like he has to tell.
You can't say that when the Bryan Danielson : Cody Rhodes taught me how to lie is a meme. Like,
yeah, the meme,
you can't do that. We'd respect you more if you just said, yeah, it's a work and I love working people. I'm my dad's son. What do you think?
Yeah, right.
Weird,
like,
bro.
like
weird.
But I think he feels like people have to believe in him to be like how he is, which is, I mean, whatever.
I mean,
whatever.
Enough people do. He doesn't have to be corny, man. Like you don't have to do that. So
Wrestling Observer Hall of Famer Cody Rhodes.
You're the well, not anymore, but at one point you were the biggest star in pro wrestling, bro. You don't need any validation from anyone else. By a lot. You don't need any validation from anyone else. You don't. It's weird, man. It's weird. He's a weird guy. Oh, and that CM Punk thing. I'm glad Big Rat brought it up in the Discord because I looked it up. Jey Uso wins the fucking Royal Rumble, and everybody comes up and congratulates this dude. But this weird ass dude, Phil Brooks, comes up and goes, "Man, I wish it was me, but congratulations." What?
That's what he said.
That's what he said.
That's it. Smile. Everybody's happy.
Like, what the hell, bro? Why would you say that? Like, that's
he was
like
probably that sounds like a setup scene that you see in like these types of things. Like they were like, "Hey, go and you know."
I hope so. I hope they got you right, Josh.
But
can you be any more self-centered, man? Can you be any more?
I mean, we are talking about Phil Brooks.
Ooh.
We are talking about Phil Brooks. But okay, so what should we talk about?
We're still on WWE. Let's just knock out SummerSlam.
What the fuck is this show or these shows?
Yeah, y'all go through the card, man. I don't even know the card. I just know.
I mean, I wanted to look up. This is a 2-night stadium show.
Yeah,
I wanted to see what the.
Okay, I'll go down the. You look up the attendance. Okay, we have a tag team match because I haven't watched. Like, I know nothing about anything.
You're looking at what Saturday show?
This is Saturday. Jey Uso and Roman Reigns versus Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. Okay, I do have a question about this. Why are we doing show stealing angles 10 years after you should have been doing shoe stealing angles 10 years after you should have been doing shoe stealing angles? Why are we doing this?
The same reason we're doing Yeet in 2025 and not 2017.
Because they're corny. That's why. Because they're.
I mean, that was when I was like, where was this 10 years ago when it would have actually?
I did watch that angle though. Good stuff. I'm not gonna lie. Like that was good stuff, man. That was good.
Well, because who do you think probably booked it?
Oh, I know exactly. I know his dirty work.
Because who booked it? Then we have a women's.
I know 911 when I see 911. Josh, what are we doing? Of course.
Then we have the women's tag team match. Raquel and Roxanne versus Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair. Yay. We have Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul versus Jelly Roll and Randy Orton. That sounds yay, yeah. Sami Zayn versus Karrion Kross. Okay.
Hang on.
What?
You know I love the shit on Karrion Kross anytime I get a chance. But apparently this guy's like contract is coming up, so this is probably like his final match or something like that. And I've seen a lot of people try to do the "we want our truth" bullshit. They're trying to do that for Karrion Kross to get him. Yeah, I see Karrion Kross, and I saw.
Can they be honest? What they really want? They don't want him. They want his girl. They want his girl. They want his girl. Can we be honest about that?
If you're falling for a psyop by Fightful.com, please rethink everything. Please.
They don't do that. They don't do that, Jake. What are you talking about?
Yeah, they don't do that, man.
Please follow the advice of the worst TikTokers and touch grass. I hate to stoop that low with freaking.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying that Sean says they don't do that. Sean says they don't do that.
It's legit, Jake. Everything they do is authentic, man. It's all completely organic, man.
And then we've got Tiffany Stratton versus Jade Cargill. Okay. And then Gunther versus CM Punk. We'll see. We'll see what CM Punk allows Gunther to do.
So I think one of their house show matches is on tape in mostly full. So I might actually go seek that out to see how much Punk let him lay it in.
But he might not. I could see them though going easy on a house show match, like doing everything but that. Yeah, doing everything but that, and then when you get to the thing, going, okay, now mark me up a little bit because now,
listen, like any other old wrestler, the best thing to do is to just say, all I have left is toughness. Beat the hell out of me. That's how this match will be good.
Can we be honest about something though?
What?
Gunther's match output is the most overrated thing in all of pro wrestling.
Well, it's because he's the best. No, it's not that it's overrated. It's that he is. It is, but there's a reason for it. He is by far the best thing in WWE. When it comes to that.
No, I don't blame him. I don't blame.
Then it gets made even better because it's in WWE. That's
based. People talk about him like he's having like 2018 Walter matches. Like these matches are fine. Like they're fine, bro.
Based on that, who would you say are like the most not overrated, but like I guess based on the work in that company, who would you say is probably in that same vein as Gunther? Like, would you put Io Sky in there? Because I hear a lot of people. I mean, even I see her matches are good. Would you put her in there? Would you put Rhea Ripley in that category?
I put Rhea in there because I think she's probably that good, but her matches aren't that good because that's not how her matches are set up. I'd put Seth in that group. I would put Seth in that group because because I mean, could Seth do better? Yeah, but his matches aren't anything to write home about. So
remember when people were calling him the best in the world? Y'all remember?
They needed a guy to go for it.
They needed a guy.
Did you hear that card that Josh just read off? 43,000 tickets out for that show. 43,000 people.
But how much of that?
It don't matter, man. It don't matter, man.
No. What I'm going to say is the shows before this aren't doing what they were doing before. And the shows after this don't look like they're doing before. I'm wondering, like, if this is going to be maybe an anomaly. I'm not saying that just to hate. I'm just saying that I'm wondering if this is going to be like an anomaly, and then we start seeing what it looks like we're seeing. Where
we can look at anything in regards to that until Cena's gone, and then try to see.
Right, right.
But Josh, even if it is 43,000 people are going for that card. 43,000 weirdos are going to that.
I will say I don't think people that bought those tickets,
they don't care.
They don't care, and I don't think this is what they thought they were getting either. Like this is the type of card I could see even WWE fans being kind of like, I don't know about this. This is not a secondary WrestleMania show, right?
I mean, I'll be honest. I do want to see the Roman match though, just because of that angle. They did a very good job of that angle.
You liked it that much?
Right. Yeah, I really like that angle.
He's in there. He's in there with two.
I mean, it just seemed like a standard beatdown. That's why I'm
because this
easy, man.
Because this Sunday show doesn't look any better. Really.
Wait a minute, hang on, whoa. Do you think Seth comes out and cashes in for the belt? I mean, people don't know if he's hurt or not.
Maybe he comes in and
Punk wins the belt, and then Seth comes out and beats him for the championship.
Yeah,
it'd be better than them doing those cash-ins in the middle of matches for some reason. I don't know why they do that now. Like that kind of kills the whole purpose of that. I hate the gimmick anyway.
Even
but
AEW
do it. Like, go all the way with it. You know what I mean? If you're gonna do it, if you must do it right. What you about to say, Jake? Go ahead.
I don't think it's night one.
Oh, you think he's gonna cash in on Cody, as you think?
Listen, one of those guys only has like 5 dates left all year, and they're a heat company.
So yeah.
So
true, because we all expect him to cash in on Punk. We all expect that. So you might.
And they love to do things that don't make a ton of sense. We just
doesn't have to make sense just to get a pop. You're right.
Anything else? Anybody like? I have nothing on that. Like this is like what the fuck card, really.
Yeah, man.
Like honestly, if this was a regular pay-per-view card, I would probably be like, oh, this is okay. But this does not seem like a SummerSlam card at all. This seems like just a regular. Like
SummerSlam doesn't have that cachet no more. It hasn't had it for years.
I know, but I'm just saying that's so. Then we
took a backseat to Royal Rumble, but go ahead.
Then you have the Sunday show. You have the 6-pack tables, ladders, and chairs match. Okay, it'll probably be good, maybe.
Oh, what 6-pack?
Yeah, so you got the Wyatt Sticks. So you've got Loomis and Joe Gacy versus Andrade and Ray Phoenix versus the Motor City Machine Guns versus DIY versus the Street Profits versus Faxium.
Oh, that could be cool, man.
I mean, I'm saying it could be good, but is that the most who cares? Like,
but those fans will love it though.
I just really think it's cheap when when Tony tries to jam all of these like lower card flippy guys onto the card last minute. It's just a really bad trend happening on these AEW shows. And wait, what's that? Wow. Well, beef that one.
Wrong company, man. Wrong company.
Well, nevertheless.
But they've done this forever.
That should be fun, though. That should honestly be fun.
I mean, that should be. And then you have Dominic versus AJ Styles. Okay. Becky Lynch versus Valkyria. We've seen this probably too many times. No DQ match, so it'll be that.
It could be good. They had a good match last time.
Solo versus
Becky knows how to do no DQ. That could be sneaky good. I'll give that one a chance.
Solo versus Jacob in a steel cage match.
God damn it! Ah!
Like, okay. Like, why are you wasting? Never mind. We talk about this all the time. Naomi.
Solo Sikoa, that means he's going to have to wrestle. There's not going to be bills and wrestle. Like, for a while, it's going to be him wrestling in a cage. Oh, my God.
Who can escape out of the door?
Oh, fuck, man. Solo Sikoa is there a a more less over big league wrestler in the world than Solo Sikoa.
What do you mean by big league? What do you mean?
I'm talking about of like in a major company. Is anyone less over than Solo Sikoa?
For his spot, I think is what
for his spot.
For his spot.
Okay. Yeah. I was gonna say something like Anthony Bowens, but yeah, I'll probably Solo Sikoa.
Like because there was a point in time where he was main event these fucking shows,
right?
And nobody cared, man.
Who cares now? Nobody cares
stinks, now, man. This guy stinks.
Yeah, Naomi versus Io Sky versus Rhea Ripley in a triple threat match. Okay, and then John Cena versus Cody Rhodes, which it's
gonna suck. It's gonna suck because John Cena can't move anymore. It's gonna suck.
Right, and Cody isn't that kind of wrestler.
2 nights.
Oh, he sucks too.
45. By the way, 45 for that show.
45 for that show.
45.
Well, that's got the Cena and Cody match on it, so that we'll see. We'll see. I might watch it eventually. We'll see. I have no.
Somebody said Solo Sikoa is the Samoan Drewski. That's funny. That's
So what you're saying is we're not reviewing this next week, is what you're saying.
No, I'll watch it. I just
you let me know if I need to do the homework.
Do the homework.
I might do it extra. I might skim through it on the plane back. I might do that. Just because I need something to do, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, whatever. I mean, I won't. It'll be fine. I'll be free on Sunday. I can.
I think I'm gonna be sick that day. So
we'll see. All right. Do we want to talk about this TNA show that everyone asked us to talk about? Even though I think Brandon's the only.
Why did Kid think that I watched the show? Like,
I don't know.
Watch the show.
I don't know.
Because you ordered that one random TNA show.
Yeah, what was that? 3 years ago? No.
When they changed the name back, and you ordered it or something.
Yeah, I ordered that, but now they have this affiliation with
WWE and
I don't have no interest in watching Joe Hendry versus Trick Williams. Like,
I mean, I've already ranted about them embarrassing themselves. Anybody got anything to add about that? I've already said I need to say all I need to say about that because that's embarrassing, bro.
It didn't seem like, from what I've heard, the type of show that you want to have when you probably have more people watching the show.
Right.
Like you probably wanted to have a better show than what they produced, it doesn't seem like it was great.
Because I mean, Cage Match has it at like 3.99, so almost a 4. That's a horrible show. And when you look at the match ratings,
I don't think
it's not that bad. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. You look at the match
4,
ratings,
it's not good, but it wasn't that bad, bro. A 4 puts
but a lot of it
the worst thing, you know what I mean?
A lot of it would be, I think, because of the booking of the main event. People were so mad about the booking of the main event. This was the opposite of what would have happened if I could have seen this happening at All In if Moxley won. It would have been this type of reaction. This is why you got to be careful about what you do. I
also think a lot of that stuff was very performative too, because y'all really care about Mike Santana. If this many people cared about Mike Santana,
right,
TNA would be in a way better spot than it is. Like, y'all don't care, man. Y'all don't actually care, bro. All y'all care about is the narrative that y'all put out. Whether you're anti-WWE or you're pro-WWE, all y'all care about is the narrative. Nobody cared about Mike Santana, because if you did, TNA, more people would watch Impact every week.
More people were watching Hog if you cared about
cared about Mike Santana. Y'all lying, man. Y'all just I don't know why. I don't know why y'all would lie about that, but it's weird.
I don't know why.
I mean, this show doesn't even there's nothing on this show that
I think it's sad they embarrassed themselves like that. I do think because there's a small audience that actually does like this company. There's an actual audience that does like this company. And I feel terrible for those people because they got to watch this company pretty much twerk and do whatever the fuck the WWE wants. It's very weird, man. Like, that would piss me off so much seeing fucking Silva raising Trick Williams' hand at the end of the show.
But somehow this is better than what TK does with the companies he works with.
Like, come on, man. Like, Konosuke Takeshita has a story with Bolton Oleg that we will talk about where he can't beat him. This is one of the top stars in AEW, and the story is that he can't beat a dude who's not even a mid-carder in New Japan. But Trick Williams can't get pinned by Mike Santana? What? No, fucking Kenny Omega lost the Impact World title to Christian on AEW television, and then Christian put over somebody on a TNA pay-per-view.
But it wasn't.
They don't like that though. They don't like that though because he didn't lose to a TNA guy. They don't like that.
But Christian did. Christian got pinned.
That doesn't matter. That don't mean nothing.
The biggest pay-per-view of the year. He got pinned.
Omega didn't lose, so that's why they.
Bro.
That's what.
It's not even the same stratosphere. What's that?
Hey, you had people defending Conan's bullshit with FTR and Dragon Lee and that tag time. You had people online. I saw it, and it wasn't just some people. It was a lot of people saying, "Oh no, this was good. This is what he should have done," because TK kept screwing him over and not sending him the right talent and doing this and this and that. And I'm like, what are you talking about?
The right talent? Not sending him. Kenny Omega isn't the right talent. What are we doing? What, you know how many people appear for AAA when they're working with AEW? What, dog, New Japan doesn't get Kenny Omega all the time. What are we doing? It's not the same. It's not. And
I would say, yes, Conan. You know what? Because your product sucks. And he was like, I don't want to be associated with this. That was probably the other part of it. And he bent over backwards to try to help you after he started his relationship with CMLL, because he was like, hey, I've already got a relationship with you. This is going to be weird, but I'm going to try to work with you. And you said, fuck it. So I don't know what.
He said Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, and some of these people are going, oh, not enough. What? But the WWE sends El Grande Americano and Dom Mysterio? Huh?
Dom is a huge star now. You know what I'm saying?
He's a huge
star.
The reincarnated Jerry Estrada?
Like, what are we doing, man? What are we? It's not. He's a huge star, Brandon. Really? How many PLEs has he main evented? How many PLEs he main evented? How many?
Excuse me. PLEs?
How many world titles?
It's gonna be. Look, here's the thing with that show. I will watch it because I'm sure Borash is booking it. And if Borash is booking it after the last
Mania,
after the last one,
that should be fine. Like, I don't want
to like I'll be like, you know what? I'll watch this because that show was good. Borash is the one that booked it. Borash is the one that did it. Conan's freaking stupid fingers were on it. So fine. I'm fine with that. The river for the WWE. Yeah, I know. I'm reading Sean going off in the chat.
I'll go Tony Khan, who's boss. I'll go broke.
Yeah. Exactly. I'll show him who's boss by fucking selling the company. What? Come on, man.
Right. Like, and this will be interesting because I think this is the first big show because now we know Del Rio's gone. And those fans liked Del Rio. That was one of the things, is they did like Del Rio. It'll be interesting to see like what happens. So
the apple never falls very far from the crimes.
You know.
The apple That's funny. That's good. You know? I like that.
So it'll be interesting. Like that's that. If Borash is the one booking it, then I will watch it and be like, hey, this is good. If so. Because I have faith that he'll put on another good show. So it won't be a AAA show, but that's fine.
You know what's also funny? Like, I get on Tony Khan for a lot of stuff, but truth be told, he actually gives his partners more than a lot of people in his position would. He gives them a lot more than.
I mean, they're the number two promotion
company on the planet.
In the world. Like, and here's the thing: the New Japan fans get mad because they're like, we're not giving enough. Yes. Because your company has fallen down. The gap between AEW and New Japan is now bigger than it's ever been. And CMLL is now in a better, like closer to AEW than New Japan is. So yeah, they're gonna.
And I would argue that's not true because Tony Khan has now let people take duels.
No, but I'm just saying that you got to have the right mindset going into it because you understand, Markeem, that they're not going to get everything they want. The things that the New Japan fans want are like, yes, but you're not at that level, so you can't have those things.
And then Tony kind of let people go over there if they want to.
Right.
Maybe these people don't want to work there. Maybe that's the case too. Like Takeshita's just a guy who wants to work there. Right. You know what I mean? Maybe you ever thought about that shit? Hell, Juice Robinson signed with them and was still working like New Japan tours consistently. He was double dipping because he just wanted to work there. Some people just maybe don't want to work there. Like, you ever thought about that? And honestly, it's a cheap excuse. I know we're about to talk about the G1, and this is a good segue. It's a cheap excuse, man, because that company, since I've been a fan, has always lost people. And it never was a fucking excuse, man. You do what you got to do in whatever the pro wrestling economy is. That's how you lose AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura, and then Kenny Omega and who else steps right into that role. Then you lose Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay and Jay White are right there. Then you lose those guys, and then that's when you need to adjust. And they have not. They have not, because fucking Gato, for whatever reason, every time he starts a guy, he halts their momentum by throwing them in the cancerous ass house of torture. That's why. That is how. And we'll talk about that.
Anything else on TNA before we move forward?
I mean, people are going to go, well, what do you expect? What I just said was, WWE is so much bigger than TNA, but you aren't getting main roster people on these shows. You're getting NXT people. That's different. That's different.
Do you see? I don't mean to cut you off. Okay, so say if they get a like TV deal where they're on like a channel that people can get, even if it's like $10 million a year or something like that. Next year, when it's time for AEW's like renegotiations as far as like figuring out their next TV deal, do you see a possibility where WWE starts to send some of their slightly bigger stars over to whatever TNA show is to kind of boost that show up? So that way that they're telling networks, like, you're going to pay this company all this money for these ratings. Like, look what we're doing. Like, do you see them doing something like that? That's my thought process. Is
so would that be?
They're trying to help them get a media deal.
Not next year, but the year after. Yeah, I could see that. I could see. I mean, the whole reason for this is supposedly to, especially the international deals, because WWE doesn't want AEW to get those international deals that they used to have. Which I'm like, okay, well, you're the one that signed this Netflix deal and gave up all your international deals. So, that everyone was kind of like, what are you doing when they did that? So there's that. And then, but I think you're right. So like, yeah, I could see them getting, because they're negotiating now, which means they'd be on a channel next year. So then, the year after that, I could see them being like, okay, we're going to start sending people over and it's going to be a bigger deal. Maybe, I don't know. But we'll see. It depends on where they wind up too. So, like,
that's a good point. Jake, you've been quiet.
I mean, I wanted TNA. I would love if they got a TV deal and was able to spend a little bit more money. That way, they, some guys don't have to always go to WWE and AEW. We can kind of spread the wealth for pro wrestling. But you just hate that they are working with them, and it's just like,
right?
It's gross. Right. I don't like it.
Right. Jake, you got so many strong opinions about TNA. You just
I don't know. Like, it's just this deal appears to be like an actual like agreement with like a length, and I guess you write out the agreement and you hope that Nick Khan, TKO, Endeavor, and friends are negotiating for you and you get a deal, and now you have consistent money for payroll. You're way less worried about your live ticket gates, which aren't much to ride home about, even though they're doing record attendance. But maybe take a look at average ticket price, to see if people are actually making payroll. 99 shows out of 100, which they're not. And like, I don't know, like the best case scenario is they get this, little $10 million TV deal and the agreement ends and TNA says, okay, we're going to go our separate way. We have TV now. That's the best case scenario.
But don't you think that
low hopes for it?
Don't you think for WWE that TNA deal has to be more than $10 million for this to be what they want this to be? Don't you think that this deal has to be? Oh,
you want more, yeah.
Why would they want TNA to be like $100 million deal?
No, I'm not saying 100. I'm not saying 100. I'm saying like maybe 50,
10 to 20 million, and say,
I'm saying like 50.
Look how cheap the alternative is.
50.
I think 50 because that at 50, then you can make Brandon's point of, hey, you're paying 50 for us, and then you can start sending people from WWE, and it's like you're paying 50 for us, and
Josh, they're going to make that argument at 10 million. They'll make that argument at any dollar.
But at 10 million, I think it's like, oh, what the ratings that they're probably going to end up doing.
Do you really think the WWE wants them to look serious though?
Josh,
I'm not saying
TNA lie. They'll just lie like they always do. They just make shit up, and people go, okay, and that's it. Even these business people, even executives,
that's the point. Like, how do you think the WWE keeps getting these record deals, bro? Because less and less people actually watch the company, but they keep making more money off these TV deals, man. Because they just know how to spend shit. This is not a lie and spend shit, man. It never comes down to what they actually produce. It's about what they say. You know what I mean? We're the WWE. You know pro wrestling. Because it's us. Doesn't matter how many people actually watch. Look at these Netflix numbers, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Look how much money Netflix is giving them for those first 5 years. They're not going to extend it, but look how much they're giving them for the first 5. You know what I mean? It's the same shit. Jake is right. All they're going to do is lie, and then it just be what it is. They never want them to be actually serious, though. Never.
I'm not saying serious. I'm not saying serious. Because at 50, I think they're still like low enough to where it's like, oh, there's still nothing, but is what I'm saying. I think that's
Nick Khan's a hell of a negotiator. We know that.
To us, they're nothing, right? But for these fragile people, $50 million might be something. Right. You know what I mean? You don't know, Josh. You know the mind state of these people, these evil fucking people. You know their mind state, man.
I'd be glad if they got 10 million. I'd be glad if they made any money, because then it's just like good. A company that doesn't have to automatically close like every other company that tries to get stuff going, because even now, where TV rights fees are hungrier and bigger than ever, no one can get a hold of them without an insane amount of upstart capital. It's not the territories anymore, where if you have a remote following, you make a deal with the local network where either you air for free and the network gets the cash, or if you're really popular like Memphis or other areas, you do get a little bit of money and you're advertising all of your live shows.
Right.
And it's like, it's not where you made the money. It's not the 2000s landscape. And even this 2020s landscape, it's just like, okay, it's Nick Khan negotiating, it's TK negotiating, and nothing else, because it's for some reason live sport, they're so hungry for it. And I know MLB's had a bit of a bubble bursting in the past 3-4 years, but like it's so thirsty for these rights, and it's pulling teeth to get TNA paid money at all, and not just air on a network that their parent company had to buy to stay on a remotely relevant channel.
Well, look at it. TK can't get ROH on anywhere. So
and he's Tony Khan. So
right.
That makes me sad, because I feel like if they were on TV, we'd get more shows like this show we got a couple of weeks ago. But
well, I agree. I mean, all right, you guys want to talk about the G1?
I'll give my quick thoughts real quick. I've probably watched less than 10 matches total. I've really just kind of kept up with 2 people, which was Takeshita and Oiwa. Like, they were the 2 like I just wanted to kind of check out. Takeshita's had some really good matches. The Shingo match was great. The LP match was great. I even thought the Great O'Khan match was great as well.
Fantastic.
Yeah. And then Oiwa, I like the Takeshita match, and then was it Tsuji? I think he had a really good match with as well. Yeah, those were like the standouts that I've seen. I can't keep up with the entire tournament like I used to years ago. So again, I just kind of picked my main people that I'm looking forward to, and it's pretty much been those two guys. So from what I've seen, I enjoyed it.
I want to address Sean's point. Attendance being down big this year. It's like a lot of these venues are cut in half, and I truly believe that really comes down to losing Tetsuya Naito. I think that like to me more than anybody, right? Like, yeah, Okada leaving, obviously a blow. Will Ospreay leaving, obviously a blow, right? But and the pandemic obviously affected everybody in a different way, right? But we just look year over year. The only thing that changed is Tetsuya Naito. And because of that, all the attendance is just cut in half for this whole tournament. Cut in half. Because people at least were like, hey, I get to see Naito in a G1 match. And now he's like not there. So half of the people are just staying home. There's no Los Ingobernables anymore. They disbanded the group. Those people are just staying home and not coming to these shows. So for all the people, and this is to kind of solidify the point I used to make back in the day. For all the people, when I told people it's not Okada, it's not Kenny Omega, it's actually Tetsuya Naito that's the biggest star in this company. There you go. there you go. Like, just what happened to the attendance is he's not there. That's literally the only difference is that he's not there. That's the only difference. What you gonna say, Jake?
That's that. Like this drop is way more insane than any of the other drops. That first Oda Ward house with a Tanahashi main event was brutal.
Wasn't it like 1,500 people? 1,300 people?
14. It was like 1,380, just an insanely low number. I'm just like, this has to be an error. Like, something's up. Because they announced like 2,200 the next night, and I'm just like, are like one of these numbers fake? Both of these numbers, what happened?
It looked the same. It looked exactly
bizarre, absolutely bizarre.
Go ahead, Jake. Go ahead.
I'm in the same boat as Brandon. I've only knocked out like 6 or 7, I think 7 matches, as I'm just kind of cherry picking. But boy, is there some good shit. Thank you, Markeem, for the recommendations that I was binging mostly on my lunch break today. But yeah, Konosuke Takeshita, very good pro wrestler. Who knew?
I think that guy's going to be a star, man. I think
he's going to be okay. I think he's going to be all right.
Kid, man. He's a damn fine prospect. I'll take it that.
But, I will add. I haven't watched a lot, but I will add this: the Great Khan match. I think people forget that before he got that gimmick, he actually was a really good wrestler. and the gimmick kind of like he plays to the gimmick like he should, but that he was really good, and that I think you just kind of saw that. So.
His offense just looks like it's like it hurts every inch of your body. I bet wrestling him is not fun. You know what I mean? I bet like for whoever like takes his stuff, not fun because
it's either that or it's the opposite where everyone's like, oh no. It looks like it hurts, but it
really doesn't.
It really doesn't. It's one of those two. It's probably one of those extremes.
I think my pop. I think my pop of the tournament. Again, I've only sampled, but that stomach punch counter to Takeshita charging in for either a leaping lariat or just a normal lariat. I absolutely blew up on that one. That and
then the way Takeshita sold it, like he got shot in the stomach. Yeah, good stuff.
That and the Uemura Hurricane Rana countering the Gene Blast, where I thought legitimately I'd misremembered who won that match, and I thought Uemura was going to sneak a win over Yota Tsuji, which might be my personal favorite match of the tournament. I'm kind of neck and neck with it with Shingo and Takeshita, and that one, I just thought the work in that one was so phenomenal. I also am just a sucker for technician versus bomb thrower or powerhouse. Like, I think that's just like a winning formula for me. Uemura really, he's only going to get better at making things like arm work and limb work more interesting. And when you have someone charismatic to work off of like Tsuji and how good his explosive and powerful offense looks. It really raises the stakes of what both guys do, and yeah, a crazy counter gene blast from a crossbody, like cool stuff like that. And those are definitely my top two. I will say shout out to ZSJ and Umino.
What do you make of Shota Umino, Jay?
So I'm watching him and I'm just like, he's better and also he's not. Like, he's getting better and also absolutely where he was 1 year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Maybe not 4 years ago when he was on the UK getting bookings canceled because they just didn't want him working because they thought he looked like shit. But that was just bizarre because it's like, this is like, okay, this is an objectively very good match and Umino's doing objectively good work. I mean, it never hurts to be in there with Zach, who at least on his top end work might be peaking right now. Like the Goto matches are insane. The Goto matches are so freaking good. I might need to rewatch those and seriously consider if they might be my matches of the year.
I could definitely see that first one.
As opposed to like the top end, like AEW stuff, like Hollywood Ending. Like I honestly might lean more towards those Zach Goto matches, both of them, both the win and the title switch. Not the California match, but the two in Japan. But yeah, that Zach Umino match was just like, I'm just like, this is such a good match, and yet I don't think it's not making me excited about Umino at all. Which is always very unfortunate for a very good match to not make you excited about the person who just had it. So
me and you were talking earlier. It's like I said, he's like a toaster. It's great if you have a toaster, but you can live without a toaster, right? Like you can find, other ways to cook shit. You know what I mean?
It's a crazy comparison.
It's true though. Like it's awesome.
The bread can be the bread.
The bread can be the bread. Look, you can make Pop-Tarts other ways, brother. You don't need that toaster. You can heat them up in the microwave, a little bit of butter, same shit.
Just raw dog in a Pop-Tart.
You know what I'm saying? You can just eat it raw. It's fine. It's fine. But the thing I was going to point out, Sean brought it up in the chat. He said they didn't do a good job of elevating guys. That is the one thing I disagree with. I think what they haven't done is chosen a guy. And I feel like this tournament, because you gotta choose a guy. They chose Okada. They chose Tanahashi. They chose Muto. You get what I'm saying? Go with the guy. And I think that guy has shown himself this entire tournament, showed himself last year. He's in your face. He's in your face. And I know everyone expects me to say Gabe Kidd. No, that guy is Yota Tsuji. He has a crowd connection with those people that nobody else in this company has at this moment. That is the guy. He's screaming, give me the only thing about him, and I feel like he's improved this during this tournament too, is working those main events, not understanding how to get his finisher stretches and filling the gaps. Well, he's done it in this tournament. Like he's turned that around. He's turned that around in this tournament. He should win this thing. He should win the world title. He should be your guy. He should. If you choose a guy, this is the guy you choose right here. This is him. He's shown the way. Yota Tsuji is your guy. It's not Shota Umino. Stop wasting time. It's not Yuya. I like Yuya, but it's not him. He doesn't have the necessary charisma for it. And honestly, it's not Gabe Kidd. As much as I love Gabe Kidd is prone to lay eggs, bro. I like Gabe Kidd, but Gabe Kidd will lay an egg. You know what I mean? It is Yota Tsuji. This is the guy. Go with this guy.
Yeah, I think it was weird when people were so hyped when he did the debut angle or the re-debut angle immediately into the match with Sonata. Everyone liked his performance in that match. And then it feels like a lot of, and I'm doing commentary about the commentary, which is, it's like remember when lowest form of conversation, Soprano shit. But like, it seems like everyone kind of went cold on Yota and they were kind of doing the Braun Breaker, oh, he has charisma, but not between the bells thing. And I'm like, I don't know if that's true. And I don't think it was ever true. And I think people are going to watch this tournament and be like, he's got it back. And I'm like, it didn't go away. You might just like New Japan more than you did 12 months ago, which like, that's fair.
And Sean, I know I keep responding to Sean. Sean's making good points. You should be here, by the way. But to catch the point, it's a good point. But I even feel like Yota Tsuji has a stronger crowd connection than even him. You know what I mean? But that's a good point, though, because he's obviously the best worker here. But they made a bunch of good rivals for Tsuji. Yuya, Finley, Gabe. But like they just need to go ahead and say, no, this is the guy that all of these rivals are chasing. They already kind of did it with David Finley. The story is that like Yota Tsuji owns him. He cannot beat him. Like that's like the story. And like even Yuya to an extent, but like Tsuji's the guy. Go with Tsuji. Go with Tsuji. If Gato was here, I'd be like, motherfucker, go with Yota Tsuji. He's screaming at you, man.
And listen, Yota Tsuji, I know that the faction is kind of in flux right now, but like he's under the learning tree of Shingo Takagi, who's like Mr. Dependable, undercard, main event. I watched that Takeshita match, and I'm just like, I know why he can't be the main eventer in this down year of New Japan. But also, he absolutely could be a main eventer in a down year of New Japan. If he can main event 2021 when you still had Okada, Naito, Tanahashi with some knees, Will Ospreay, like you still had that stuff and you were willing to ride with him. And it's like the houses are already down. Like what's going to happen?
Just try something. Yeah.
Like what's going to happen? Like Shingo is like, Shingo was so confident, and he was like a crowd work guy in that Takeshita match for the first third. He was constantly, every time it was like, Takeshita's cornered and he's going to lay some offense, and it's all about the clap and it's getting people going. And it's like the most I've seen someone do that of the stuff I've cherry picked, with the exception of maybe Uemura. But like, God, that guy can control the crowd so good. And I'm not saying you got to put the title on him, but I'm glad he got the Dominion main. He deserves it. He should be in those more often. He's that good, and you just need someone who's dependable. And you go with dependable, and you pray for game changing. Like that's just kind of wrestling. You go with dependable, and then you hope there's like an actual business mover, needle mover.
And also slot these House of Torture guys the way you were before, when they were actually somewhat of a draw. You know what I mean? Slot them where they were before, that whole area in the middle, and not as many of them. One heavyweight, Evil, the juniors, and then the mid-card guy. That's it. We don't need Chase Owens, Sonata, your mama, your uncle, your daddy. We don't need all these people. All right. We just need those 4 guys. Do those matches every so often, and don't put like 6 of them on the show. If you did, because no one can get away with that, because their most over guy leans into that type of stuff. Evil is not the most over guy in the company. It's fine when they do it because Ozawa is the most over guy in the company. You know what I mean?
But even no one knew to like, okay,
to take the belt off him,
give him 6 months,
at the right time. Yeah.
And not only are we going to beat him, we're going to KO him.
Exactly.
Like,
KO, and then he's down the card for a bit. Like he's gone down the card. He's gone away for a bit. And man, God. Just ride the booking pro wrestling's not hard. Just ride people's momentum. It's not hard, bro. It's not hard.
Any more G1 thoughts before we wrap this up here quickly?
But definitely check out the tournament, and Yota Tsuji should win the tournament. That's just what I think.
One more recommendation. This was from Arkeem Taichi David Finley. If you like bomb throwing, I can't believe Taichi was so bad as a junior, but kicked so much ass as a heavyweight. So weird, but when it's good, it's good.
I want to plug in our description in the Discord as well. We do have a link for questions. If you guys want to send us some questions in for us to be able to ask, we're going to try to do those going forward. So I figure we could take like 5 minutes to answer these. It's just like two of them that I kind of want to go over, and we'll get to the rest later. LV, he asked this question. He says, the WWE ID showcase is this Friday to crown their men's and women's champion. After months of speculation, concern, and even fear what this program would do to the indies, what is y'all current feeling on this now? Is it what was expected? Did you expect more, less, or is it too early to tell?
I'm going to let Josh answer that. Go ahead, Josh.
I still have problems with it, because I think if it was what they originally said it was going to be, then we wouldn't need to be crowning ID champions.
I feel like I haven't even heard anything about WWE ID in a minute. So
you haven't. Like it was a big deal during WrestleMania.
Could you repeat that for me one more time?
What?
Exactly what you said. That last
what? That about the titles?
Yes. Go ahead. Repeat that.
If it was what they originally said it was, we would not need these ID titles.
I need someone to clip that.
We wouldn't need these titles, because these guys and these women would be winning these titles on the indies. They'd be winning titles elsewhere. You wouldn't need this. So that's the first thing. The second thing,
because they lied.
Is like Brandon said, we haven't heard a lot about this, but I think the reason why we haven't heard a lot about this is because you don't have a lot of discussion about the indies to start with. We had a lot of discussion WrestleMania weekend. The reason why we had a lot of discussion WrestleMania weekend is that's the biggest weekend for indie wrestling. And it was evident that a lot of these people were on shows and in spots that bothered people. And I think added to that was the Bloodsport show that had all of those WWE people. And by the way, you mean
GCW presents the WWE Fight Pit? That's
right,
what you're talking about?
That thing. Because the next show I just saw, it's Jonathan Gresham versus somebody.
Pete Dunne. Yeah, Pete Dunne.
Yeah. Which will be, I have no doubt that
it
match
should be good. Should be
good. But it just leaves that taste in your mouth of, what are we doing? Right? Like because we know there were people left off of Bloodsport WrestleMania weekend to fit the WWE talent. And that just, I think that's where you're going to see more of this, is when it's more focused and more, there is a point to where there's a big weekend and people are like, oh yeah, this is a thing again. I don't like this. I think that's when you're going to hear more about it. But yeah.
Yep.
I mean, when it comes to WWID, I'm just glad that there's a system to where we can finally ID these people and go, officer, over there, it's the WWE contracted individual.
Right.
I think it's good to ID these people. I think it's good to have a database.
I'm since All In is now over and I didn't talk about this, one of the things I kind of wished that Tony did WrestleMania weekend was run his own, especially Bloodsport show, and call it No ID Required.
You got me at the end.
That's good, actually. That's really good, though. That's good.
That yeah. So that was my thing.
It's exactly what I thought it would be. Weird grandstanding. It's the WWE feigning like they care about independence. They don't.
There's the people that they picked. It's weird. It's like, and it's also, what are we saying? Are we saying that the Performance Center doesn't work, which we all know it doesn't? So, are they admitting that, or are they just admitting that, hey, that the people that are coming from the indies, the Performance Center definitely does not work for them, which we know that as well. So, like,
those people don't need the fucking Performance Center, man. You know how they learn how to work? The independents, like most people.
I know.
They don't need that.
And the other thing that we were told was that this would be a way for people in the Performance Center to go to the indies, and we really haven't seen that. So,
I'm just glad that there's finally a promotion that Kylie Ray will show up to her bookings for.
Oh shit!
Stop.
You're not about to get me careful, sir. Stop.
Who fucking cares about Kylie Ray? Come on. All right, one more. And we don't have to spend too much time on this one, but this is from Tay. I think this is from Tay. What is your favorite calendar year of wrestling?
Ooh.
For me, the first one that came to my head, even though it's the most recent, so it's recency bias, probably 2015. Just because I thought that the pro wrestling industry was pretty solid then as far as like what they were putting out. Like I thought WWE was watchable then, including with NXT. I thought ROH was on fire, and then New Japan was killing it as well. Like that was part of their golden era on top of like other indies as well. So for me, at least the first to come to my mind would be 2015.
Lucha Underground was most of season 1 was 2015.
Yeah.
Great year.
Y'all come back to me. Go ahead. Somebody else.
96.
Ooh.
You had
the NWO was high. You had all.
You had three promotions, not WWE, doing record business. AAA was really good.
ECW
was you're right. Like that's the first year that came to me. I would say 94 would be close, but the American wrestling scene was so horrible in 94 that
can I throw out
ECW was awesome in 94. 94 ECW was great.
Can I throw out because I've seen a lot of because I know Snowboy on Twitter did a big project about it. 2005, whoa, holy moly! 2005 between ROH, Noah, some of the deeper cut, the tippy top WWE people were still good at that time. It was
the other indies were really good too.
Yeah, CZW, Chikara started getting juice. Well, CZW already was hot, but Chikara, I think, starts to find itself in 05. PWG starts to look like PWG, well, a form of PWG in 2005.
IWA Mid-South is kind of IWA Mid-South.
A lot of Japanese deep cuts. A good Dragon Gate year, if I remember. At least the first half, I think, is pretty highly regarded because that's like the start of Blood Generation in January of that year. So that's probably up there. It's not something I've explored a ton, but
I'm gonna say 2007. I'm gonna say 2007.
Really?
Yeah, because
that's such a
hold on.
Go ahead. Okay.
Think about the first part of WWE's year in 2007. A lot of
it was good. It was a good year.
Then,
not the middle part though. Not the middle part.
Then you had the height of Dragon Gate in 2007. Dragon Gate, in terms of bell to bell, it's one of the best years in the history of that company. 2007. I know you had the tail end of 2007 for Ring of Honor with faction warfare and stuff, but a lot of people they take that entire year and think that was also the same year Driven happened.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
All the pay-per-views and stuff. Yeah,
also the same year the Ladder War happened. You know what I'm saying?
Steen and Generico and Briscoe's a few. Yeah.
The ascension of Tanahashi started in 2007. And like I said, like hell, we brought up ROH. The greatest tag team run of any tag team in history was in 2007.
But isn't the Benoit cloud just so?
I know.
Over the year that is hard.
I was gonna get to that. I'm just talking about the actual product.
I feel you.
Yeah. And also, shout out to 2019. 2019 in terms of work and matches, really good year.
And then exciting, like the back part of that year when like ROH was starting and then NXT, AEW was starting. NXT got put on TV. NWA Power was like fun to watch. Like, yeah, that was definitely fun.
And hell, the fucking the beginning of the year with the uncertainty about AEW and things like that. Remember the tension behind Wrestle Kingdom that year? Like, is Kenny gonna drop the belt? Who knows?
Right.
Like, who knows what's gonna happen? Yeah, man. So much fun. And WWE was trash, but it's usually trash. So.
Is 2019
NXT was great.
Is 2019 the most underrated dome show of like modern New Japan? because I think people forget how good Omega Tanahashi is. Like, I think there's so much other outside the ring stuff, and the build is so weird that people forget the match itself is incredible.
That show had Omega Tanahashi, which is fantastic. That show had Naito and Jericho, which to a lot of people think that's Chris Jericho's best match period. A lot of people feel that way. A lot What else?
Wasn't that Ibushi Ospreay?
Ibushi and Ospreay opened the show.
The first Jay White Okada match with the
the moment
he beat him in like 12 minutes. Yeah,
it's maybe my favorite match of theirs. That little 12-minute boom kill shot.
The moment I became a snake, one of my favorite memories. Y'all think that's the reason I love that dude. One of my favorite memories is watching that show late at night, and then he hits that Blade Runner in the utter shock in that whole dome. It's like you hear a pin drop in that bit. I was like, this is fucking pro wrestling, man. They all were so stunned. And then Kevin Kelly on commentary, he was like, everything just changed in this one moment. Like, we thought this man was unbeatable. He's destroyed him in every way. Such a great moment, man. Such a great moment. But yeah, 2019 is up there. Lucha wasn't that strong, though. Lucha was probably the only kind of blind spot in 2019. But that's a good year.
Yeah, send your questions in. We'll knock out some more here soon. Appreciate y'all.
We done?
Yeah,
anything? Okay, so I guess we're out. Thanks you everybody for being here. Thank you, Jake.
Maybe we'll be back to talk about SummerSlam next week.
Maybe that'll be maybe if it's a newsworthy. It doesn't look like it's gonna be
if it's a Paul Levesque special where just who cares, it's boring. You ain't seeing us next week. But if it's something that happens,
if there's something, then we might,
I'll tell you this: if The Rock comes back, you'll at least get an extra from me. How about that?
Well, if The Rock comes back, we can all come back.
Yeah, just stop stealing the content. Let's
I think Dwayne's catching the same thing I have, and he's going to be sick this weekend as well.
You'll be sick this weekend.
Go see Fantastic Four. It's very fun.
Yes. Right. Excellent.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Excellent. Yeah. Me and Josh did a whole thing about.
They did a whole thing. Yeah. It was very good.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyways, we're out. Later. As the clock clicks down.